getters, welcome to the Glow Up. On today's video, we're actually going to do a glow chat. We're in lockdown now because, Corona. So we're actually just going to do our first virtual glow chat.
Okay, guys, so welcome back. As Jada said, today we're gonna be doing a glow chat video, because we are currently in lockdown. Coffee thing about lockdown, but this is a literal lockdown going on in Jamaica because the COVID cases have been rocketing high. So the government decided that for this weekend, the upcoming Easter weekend and the weekend after that, we would be having no movement days. So yeah, so we're under one serious little lockdown. But I mean, it's good that we have the opportunity to come and catch up and talk to you guys. And so you guys can know what's been going on here. And yeah, glow chat, glow fun. But today it's definitely glow chat. So we're gonna be talking about two things in particular. One, the lockdown and how we feel about that, how it has affected our lives. And two, violence against women, because that has been, is a continuing topic and issue in Jamaica and across the world. But recently we had a case where a young lady was murdered, a 20-year-old young lady. So we decided that it was important for us to use our platform to talk about the way this made us feel and the changes that we would like to see in our society.
So how are we feeling about the lockdown? Personally, I'm okay with it if it's going to keep our country safe. I know it's not our preferred choice as Jamaicans, we like to be out and about, but I think we're getting complacent as a country on a whole. When the coronavirus first started, we were doing everything we needed to keep our numbers down. Now that more time is being passed, I think we're getting antsy to get outside and get the entertainment industry started. But we need to keep up the same vigilance and diligence in not contracting the virus. Some persons are feeling that wearing a mask is too much, but we have to do what we have to do as Jamaicans. I think maybe the lockdown isn't the best in your opinion, but at this point, the coronavirus is going to continuously get us if persons don't change their behavior. I think it's a behavior virus as well, because if we go about our day safely, I think we can control it. But when I pass a particular area in Jamaica and only one person out of 10 is wearing a mask, then clearly the numbers are going to continue rising because people are not taking it serious. People think, oh, the prime minister, people think the numbers are fake, but persons have to believe the deaths are real. No matter what the numbers are saying, people are dying. I personally lost a schoolmate to this virus the other day, and it took me in a complete shock because she was my age, and it just brought it closer to home. And it's sad that we have to wait until something is closer to home to take it serious. I think as glow getters, we need to take it serious. We need to do our part. And if we need lockdowns for the rest of the year, hopefully not. Maybe that's just what we have to do. And I would say use this lockdown time to work on yourself, work on building your glow up, Try and see the positive in it. The positive in a lockdown is you have life to be in the lockdown. I think that is what we need to focus on as glow getters. But that's me personally. What do you guys think?
So for me, I think that, as you said, Ayana, people should take the time to work on themselves. But I think people have gotten tired of the working on themselves, because when COVID just hits, you're home and you're like, okay, let me cook, let me bake, let me try something new. And then now people are at a point where, okay, I don't want to try anything new anymore. I want to go back to my normal life. But, and I think that comes a lot from persons not really grasping what exactly a pandemic is and the kind of way a pandemic can affect your life. Because we've only heard about these things. You heard about the plague, you read about, but to be living it is a whole different situation. And sometimes you really have to stop and think and say, hey, this is a pandemic. Like, this isn't a unique situation to Jamaica. It's not unique to the Caribbean. This is the whole world right now. I mean, hey man, love it for them that they don't have to wear masks anymore. But there are other places in the world where the numbers just aren't going down and people are being very complacent. And it really is a lot of personal responsibility because you can't tell me, say, you go into a crowd and 10 people there don't have on a mask and you think it's okay for you to not have on a mask, knowing that you have to go home to family and some of you have, like, older persons in your family. And I don't like the narrative that some people have been propelling, that it's the younger people who don't wear the mask and it's young people carrying COVID home to people, because it's not 100% true. Because there are lots of older people who do not wear their mask, who going everywhere where they're not supposed to go, who is doing all kind of manner of evil. And the younger ones are actually trying to, first of all, some of the young ones not going anywhere. For those who don't have school, them not going nowhere. So, and when they do go on the road, they are wearing their mask. So I think it's very unfair for people to propel that narrative that, oh, young people are the ones who are not wearing their mask. And I think that that kind of comes from how they gave us the news about COVID when it just came out, to say that, it affects the older population rather than the younger population. So the older persons are the one who are severely at risk. I mean, yes, they do have a lot of underlying issues after they get to a certain age, but some of the older ones need to be responsible. And there are lots of conspiracy theories and all kind of things surrounding COVID. However, my view is similar to what you said, Ayana. Even if the numbers are fake, the deaths are real. Like, people don't just get up and say, okay, I'm gonna play dead and disappear from my family and friends and life as I know it. That no make no sense. People are dying, people have to go funeral, people can't bury their dead because of this COVID situation. So I really feel like if all you have to do is wear the mask for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, wear the mask, because it better than, as them said, the mask better than the ventilator. Just put on the mask about your business and go home. If you don't need to be on the road, don't be on the road. Because you're on the road and you, me don't want to wear this mask because I can't breathe and this and that. If you don't have to go out there, don't go out there. Stay home. You're not going away. But people aren't getting that, and that is the issue that we're having in this country, and it's very sad. And I mean, I work from home, so I'm home most of the time, but I would have loved to have the option to the road every now and again. But if my fellow brothers and sisters in the country not doing what they're supposed to do, then I'm just gonna have to stay home, and I don't love that for me. So people, wear a mask.
Talk to them, Kadri. Talk to them. I agree. I also believe that persons who weren't wearing the mask to begin with still aren't wearing the mask. There are some people who have changed, but there are persons who have remained the same throughout COVID. Persons who believe that, okay, I am not personally affected by it, or I can live my own life, live my best life out there, and it won't affect others. But that's not true. You know, the circle of life, Lion King, it teaches you that we're all connected. So if you personally don't want to wear your mask, that's your decision, yes, but it affects another human being. And I think that is what people don't value. That is what they don't see as important, and that is why they aren't necessarily acting. So even if you were at a state where you were wearing the mask and you stopped wearing it, it's more so social learning to me, because if you're in a space and people are wearing short shorts and you're in a long skirt, you gotta kind of wear short shorts too. So if you're outside and you realize that the persons you're around are fine, they're not affected by COVID, they're not wearing sanitizers, they're not wearing masks, they're not doing all these hygienic stuff, but they're not affected, they're fine. It's easy to go with that flow because you're going on your trips, nobody's sick. But if what if I just wore my mask? What if? And that's what comes after. And a lot of times we aren't proactive, we're very reactive as a nation, as human beings, as people in the world. And I just want to encourage our glow getters out there, wear your mask. Even if it's today, that's going to be the first time you're wearing a mask. It's a brand new start, just one time. And a lot of times we don't have to wait until, yes, we don't have to wait until it gets bad to do something. Remember when COVID just started and it was like one case. Everybody was freaking out. And now it's like so many cases, and it's like we're almost desensitized. It's like we're no longer sensitive to the fact that coronavirus is real. It's like, okay, the new normal. So we just have to get used to it. And basically, we just have to adjust to our lives and adjust the things that we do. But yet, still, we don't want to adjust the behavior. And it's very important that if you're going to do something, there's a quote, guys, that says verbatim, in order to do something that you've never done, or in order to be someone you've never been, you have to do stuff you've never done. So in order to be that A student, you have to study, unless you naturally were that A student. But in order for you to do something that you've never been at all, in order to be healthy and to be someone that has never caught COVID, you have to put your behaviors in that spot. I mean, I'm not saying that if you're hygienic, you wear your sanitizers and you do all of that, you're free from COVID, because at the end of the day, it still depends on another human being. And that is the sad case. And that's what's hitting us now, because a lot of persons are responsible, they act responsible, they do responsible stuff, but at the end of the day, they still get the short end of the stick because they went to a bank with somebody that was irresponsible. They saw somebody in their office that went to a party last night with 100 people. So at the end of the day, it's not just about you. It's not about selfishness. It's about how you protect the persons that are immediately in your contact and those that are not immediate to you or in your small circle.
Yeah, honestly, personally for me, the lockdown has really affected me. It's affected our country greatly as well. When you look at it, the first thing that Jamaicans love to do is worry about how are they gonna eat. And I personally, I'm one that always asks, what am I gonna eat? But really and truly, it's not really all about the food, because if we paid so much attention to what are we gonna eat instead of why I never wear my mask, why I never sanitize here, why I never tell her don't go, why I never tell them don't go to that party because too many people are going, why I never tell them stay inside because it's curfew and you don't want to get locked up, because the measures that the government has put in now, where people have to be paying more money to get out of situations where they could have just being responsible and say, let me stay at home, let me not catch the virus, because this is a serious thing. It's been a year. It's really been a year. The reality is, it's been a year. COVID has been here for a year. We've been
Anniversary.
inside for a year. Yes, it's been a very long year, and we Jamaican people were very stubborn. Yeah, we started off okay, then in the middle we started to get shaky, and now we're let loose. We don't want to do anything. We're tired, you people said. We're tired. We are all tired. We are tired of it. We cannot stay home anymore. We want to go out and enjoy ourselves. We want to go out and be with friends. We want to be with family. We don't want to be told that, oh, I can't go to a funeral today because it's only 10 people and those 10 people include the pastor and whatever. Oh, I can't go to the beach today because the beach closed down. You see, if we really took the responsibility and said, let's just stay home. Just just try it. Let's just all stay home. Keep Jamaica deserted. Not even make police have to come out. If we all just stayed home, just imagine the difference. Because if we stay home and then the people who are supposed to get vaccinated just go out and get vaccinated and go right back home, look at the difference it would make. But it's all about people. You see, once people put their mind to do things, then the world will be a better place. But without it, we just have to face the reality that it's been a year, the virus is still here, it's not going anywhere, vaccination or no vaccination. It's really not going anywhere. It's our reality now, and we just have to deal with it. We have to be responsible. We need to wear masks, we need to sanitize, and we just need to be aware of each other. We need to be our brother's keeper. As glow getters, we like to glow up. We like to see everything. We like to see everybody glow up. We like to see people rise. We like to see people shine. But how are we going to rise? How are we going to shine? How are we going to glow up if we don't take responsibility and stay home? How are we going to do these things if we don't just be there for each other? Just stay home. It's so hard, honestly. For me, it's hard to stay home, but what do I have to do? I have to stay home. I have school. I can't go to school now because people are let loose. COVID is on the rise. I can't stay home. I can't go to school anymore. So we just need to stay home. We need to be responsible. that's just it. Glow getters, we all just need to
Responsible.
be
And that's unhealthy.
How do you guys feel about the vaccine though?
I was wondering if we should talk about the vaccine, and honestly, okay, with the vaccine, I'm looking at it just as how I grew up. To get to school, I had to take my immunization. We all had to do it in order to go to school. And I think the vaccine over time will probably just be added to the immunization card. But as it stands now, I would prefer persons who really need it more than me to go and get it. We don't have enough vaccines for everybody in the country. That's a perfect ideal world. So for now, I encourage those who have underlying issues, those who are up there in age, those who have to go on the road. That's the other part. I know I probably should get the vaccine because I have an underlying issue, but I don't go on the road more than such. So I encourage persons who have to go out to make a living, go out and get your vaccine. So I'm not forcing anybody to get vaccinated. What I'm saying is do what is best for you and your household, do your research. The options are get vaccinated, go about today. Don't get vaccinated, but you still have to go about today safely. Whatever option you choose, we just want the best safe option for you. So personally, will I get vaccinated when I feel as a country we're at a place where I need to go and go about my life and I feel like we have enough vaccines. I prefer the essential workers, those who are up there in age, and those who have serious underlying issues to get vaccinated before me. But eventually, I would take the vaccine because I believe in science. I believe that God has equipped persons with the knowledge to develop something. And it's not something we know. We're not God. We don't know the future. We don't know what the side effects will be. But every medication has side effects, and we still take them. So you just have to do what you think is best for you. And that's my take on the vaccine.
Agreed, Ayana. Personally, because I don't necessarily think I have to take it right now either. So I'm in no rush. So for me, it is whenever the time comes when it is necessary. But right now, I don't really go out on the road. I have underlying illnesses, but I think I'm a fairly healthy person. So I don't have but now go push and force on the front of the line to get the vaccine right now because there are other persons who are priority above me. So I'll just wait my turn. I'll skip the line, wait my turn. Yeah, so I'll just wait for the time to come. And I guess the more reading and more understanding about, what the vaccine is, what it has in there, that kind of thing, what kind of effects it may have. And the longer it takes for me to get it, the more I can see what the results are of it, how it affects certain people, if they're persons with similar underlying illnesses as me, how does it affect them, that kind of thing. So yeah, right now I'm in a no rush. But for persons who have to get it right now, do the right thing, get your vaccine. And if you choose not to get the vaccine, do what you have to do to boost your immune system and keep yourself healthy. Because that's about all we can do. And wear your mask. That's about all we can
Be
do
a
right
vax champ, guys.
now. A what?
A vax champ.
A vaccine
Yes, that's the
champion?
hashtag that the ministry is using.
I
Yes,
didn't know
guys,
that.
yes.
I didn't know that.
Like
A
Tanaya
vax
Yard.
champ? Okay, I get it. I get it.
Okay, so if you are on social media, you have been seeing the hashtags, you have been seeing the posts about violence against women. We here at the GlowUP are wearing orange in support against the cause violence against women. I saw on Instagram a tweet that was made by a Danny Rook. She said, "No, I don't know her, but it could have been me. It could have been my family member or friend. As a nation, we lack compassion and the determination to solve and prevent crime. I'm tired. Rest in power, Canis. Hashtag justice for Canis." I saw When Caribbean post, "Woman, please don't do this. Woman, please don't do that. Woman, be careful when Women, please ensure that. How about men? Stop raping and killing our women. I fully agree with these posts, but I'm gonna let a younger glow getter go first. Jada, tell us what you think about it.
What I think about the situation is quite unfortunate. If I'm being very honest, it's very unfortunate that this is happening in our country. But what I must mention about is that this is not the first. This is not the first, and this is what we as a country, as a nation, we need to notice that this is not the first. Many times things like this has happened, and we come out and we do all this stand up and whoa, we're going to the jungle justice and whatever. And then 5 years time, we're just like, until it happens again. We're silent. We're silent about it. And the thing about it is that we on social media, we are people who want to do something about it, but we're not in the position to do something about it. The people that are supposed to do things about it, they take it like, oh, we try something and we just see how it go and leave it there. It can't stay like that anymore. We as a country, we need to come together because we're not united. We obviously Jamaicans see I'm blind here and deaf. You see, if we did cut out all of that, this country would be a better place. A better place. It would be a better place for everybody. It would be nobody has to worry about if when you go there something going to happen to you. If you walk by these set of people, they're going to take you where something going to happen to you. You see, if we just come together, if we took the responsibility, because that is the key thing, if we all took responsibility, because we're not taking the responsibility, these things are happening to us. These things are happening to our country, and we're just allowing crime and violence to prevail when instead of it, we're trying to push it down. It's not happening because we're not taking the responsibility. We're not being each other's keeper. Instead, we want to see and blind, hair and deaf, when instead we should not be doing that. We should be out there saying, this should happen, we should tell, we should go. And then on top of it now, our government needs to put up something. They need to be out there for us more. They need to stop this. Oh, we do something and then 5 years silence, and then when it come back again, you go the person house and you mourn with them and then that's it. We need to do better. Jamaica needs to do better. We need to stand up for each other. One murder today, one missing person today, one missing girl today is not going to, if we don't do something, it's just going to be like that. We need to be better than this. We can do better than this, and we need to do better than this. And that is what's important. Us as a country, as a nation, being responsible. That is very important.
Agreed with you, Jada. I mean, there's so many things to think about in scenarios like this because I saw a tweet where a young man said him can't feel why she missing. And I was like, why would you post that? Like, even if you think that, why would you post that? Why do you think that that is something that is appropriate for you to put on the internet? And not that she was just missing, she's dead. She's somebody's daughter, she's somebody's friend, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's best friend. She's somebody to somebody. And even if she wasn't anybody to anybody, it gives you no right to think that, oh, she have a right for missing. She's supposed to go missing. She don't have a right for live. You have a right to hurt her. Like it don't, I don't know. I don't know what is the thinking. I don't know what is the, and I really don't know what it is that we're going to do as a country or as people, because this is not just a matter of the government. Yes, the government needs to do something. More things need to be in place for people like this. But something wrong with the people. Something wrong with the people. Because if you can see a young lady going about her business and feel like, someone a girl, I'm gonna just take her and kill her. Like, something wrong. Something is wrong. Something is radically wrong. And I really don't know what it is that we're gonna do because we know about this because she died and because she went missing. But she's not the only girl that has been hurt. And women are hurt on a daily basis. Daily basis. because just the comments that come out of men's mouth sometimes, may I tell us that boy, like you can't go on the road and walk in a peace. I went for a walk on Tuesday, and because I want to start, being fit and exercise and so on. And before I went on the walk, I was thinking, okay, I don't want to go too late. I don't want to go every day. I don't want to leave us at the same time every day because I don't want nobody see me, know my time, and follow me up. And the road that I'm going to walk on, at some point it's busy and then there are other parts when it's lonely. And I was just thinking, boy, I mean, I know I haven't done this in a while. How am I going to manage on the lonely roads? My dog walks with me the entire time. Big up my dog. But if something happened to me, my dog probably wouldn't be able to do anything for me. My dog couldn't come back to my house and communicate to my family and say something has happened. You get what I'm saying? And women shouldn't have to live in this kind of fear. I shouldn't have to need to take a taxi and look on the taxi and say, two men at the taxi, I'm not going to take the taxi. I shouldn't have to look at if the taxi said going my way, I should be able to trust that the taxi is going my way. I shouldn't look at it and say, I never seen a taxi driver here before. I'm not going there. I'm not trusting. We shouldn't have to be going through all of these things on a daily basis. When I used to be at UA and I used to come home in the evening with my friend Sulan, she came off the bus before I did, and I had to take a taxi to get home. She would have to walk on her road. It's pretty lonely. And as soon as I got home, I would send her a message or call her and say, you reach home? And on days when she would forget to send me a message, me not stop calling, me know so she reach home. Me I call she, me I call her mother, me I call her grandmother, me I call her grandfather. Anybody when me need for call to find her, I'm gonna call them because I need to know that she's home okay. And not just responsibility, as Jada said, but accountability, because many times, and I think the generations before us, rape and incest and stuff like that, they're not new. These things have been on the earth for a very long time. But in the generations before us, I'm not sure if it's a matter of normalized, and it was kind of taboo. So if the daughter came and said to the mother, so and so raped me or so and so touched me in a way that I wasn't comfortable about it, them say, lie, yeah, tell, not no go so. Or them say, I just one of them things that it happened to most of us. And they make it okay and excusable. And then they come into this generation. And I think this generation of people, we have been more liberal. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But we aren't just living with the traumas anymore. We're standing up for it. We're breaking the generational curses and all the things that were, holding us back. We aren't doing it. We're going to therapy. We're normalizing stuff like that. But at the same time, there's still so much work to be done. And a lot of times these happen from or by the people who are close to them. And I was saying to somebody that, women aren't safe anywhere because you're not safe at home because there's the uncle, there's the father, there's the cousin, there's the family friend, there's the neighbor. And there's like, I don't know. It's hard for me to even imagine being a parent having a daughter in a time like this because you might say you want to leave her with her uncle, but you don't know the uncle thoughts, you don't know the uncle intentions. And you think that these people are good people. And then when scenarios and situations like this happen, you're like, but you're a good person. Why would you, and it's so much. It's really so much to unpack and deal with. And as I said, I really don't know what we're going to do because it's not just the government and it's not just the community. There's so many things that, I don't know what. We have to go into some serious prayer. And even with the prayer, we're going to need some serious actions because it can't be that every time a girl go missing or every time a woman get beaten, we'll come and we'll put up an orange and our WhatsApp status and that is it. There has to be more than that. And as Jada said, it can't be happening this month, 2 months down the line, everything died down and everything is okay. Next 3 months are the same thing again. And I think every year we'll go through this kind of cycle where women are constantly being abused, women are constantly being killed by their partners. I mean, I say, what? What are we doing? What is this? It's crazy. And I mean, I guess because I'm not I don't, and as the tweet said, I don't know her, but that could have easily been somebody I know. When I saw it and I saw Portmore, I thought about Vanessa and I thought about one of my best friends that live in Portmore. And I said, these are people who know go up on the road and them a travel, them are up and down. Them not have vehicle for drive from X place to X place. And even with a vehicle, them will hurt you. Because them are going to follow
Definitely.
you. And like, they're just so many things. Like, but I mean, go get us. If you know somebody who's been hurt, first of all, you have to allow them and give them the room to speak up, to tell their story. Because a lot of times women's stories go unheard. And then when they come out 5, 6, 7 years down the line, people say, so what make you take so long? What make you never say something? And it's because people don't have a space or a platform or just that safe space to say how they feel or if somebody hurt them. So if you know somebody has been hurt, you see the signs, because there are many signs. You see the signs, you see things happening, say something. Get them the help that they need. And don't just shut them down. At least give them the opportunity to tell their story. And family members, because some family member out there, when the see things happen and they don't say anything, stop it, because all you're doing is making matters worse for those who are to come. Stop it. Community members, if you see nothing looking shaky, not looking funny, do something about it. We have to be more proactive. As Ayana said, we can't just continue to be a reactive country. We have to be more proactive and we have to protect our women. And that's it from me.
I agree, actually. I very much so agree. And I hope you glow getters out there watching actually made the link, because it's the same thing with the coronavirus behaviorally, the mentality, and thinking of it as, oh, when it reaches home, it's very much similar to what we were just talking about a moment ago. And I know Kadre touched on the men, but there are women out there that are being violent with other women, encouraging violence against women. And I just want to say, if you are a glow getter and you have been hurt too, don't worry. You can speak out about it. You can let persons know how you're feeling. You can always find a responsible person that can lift you up and encourage you. And I hope that this video truly impacts you in a positive way and encourages you, somebody out there. Because a lot of times we hear about violence against women and we think, okay, domestic violence. And when we think domestic violence, we normally think interpartner violence. But there is so much that people endure violence wise. It could be parental abuse. It could be that is still violence against women, guys. If it's the fact that a woman slap a woman or a woman stab a woman, that is still a violent act against another woman. And so we need to be more aware of what violence is and the forms in which it comes, because a lot of the times we dumb down situations that people say to us because, okay, maybe you never get raped this way, so maybe it's not really rape. Or, okay, she never know what she was doing, or she wasn't mentally right in the head, or he wasn't mentally right in the head. So does that make it acceptable? Now think about it. Sometimes we ourselves make excuses for persons who do negative things to other persons and kind of let them get away with it. But you have to be strict, you have to straighten up and let persons know that this what you're doing is wrong. It is wrong. A lot of persons have said, yo, there's a lot of noise going on around this. There's Jasmine Dean, what happened to her? And a lot of the times we get so flustered by things that weren't done in the past that we try to step on the things that people are doing now. So yeah, maybe last week somebody died from violence against women or from an act, a violent act or a violent crime. But today we decided to talk about it. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep doing something about it. Let's not just be like, okay, there are a million people before her and there'll be a million people after her. Because those thoughts and those sayings and those things that we do actions wise, it's all in the perspective, it's all in the mind. And if we don't move from shifting a mental space, then we will actually achieve nothing. I mean, we don't know what we're going to do because this is an ongoing thing. Marginalized groups are affected on a daily basis. But what can you do? What can I do? What can we do together to make a difference? And those are the questions that we should have in our minds. And then we should brainstorm answers. But not only brainstorm, actually do something. So get on Zoom, even if it's free, and talk about it, record it, put it out there so that people know. Go to the store, encourage a woman because you don't know what she's been through, you don't know what she's going home to. And you have to be very careful how you treat persons, what you say to them, what you do to them, because a lot of the times we as women accept the violence because it's the only thing and that doesn't make it okay. Not because it's the only thing or because somebody who consistently provides for you, consistently encourages you, does something wrong, makes it okay. It doesn't. They say that first impressions last, but I believe that worst impressions should stain, because if it stains your mind, you don't become normalized to it. And if you can realize and accept that what somebody is doing is wrong, then irrespective of the thousands of good that they have done, they still did a wrong. And they need to be addressed about the wrong. And they need to be confronted about it. I mean, you're not going to act violent or cuss them off but in some responsible way, because remember, we're trying to be responsible Jamaicans. It's some responsible way, corrective measure. No, to be honest, what happened to the young lady was very unfortunate. And I don't believe that it's something that can easily be corrected. So a lot of the times things happen and they seem simple, but they're really not. Because to talk to the individual may or may not have remorse for what was done. But a lot of the times we get into our feelings and emotions when you lack control is what gets you into trouble. Because I believe personally, and these are my views, that the person that did that, for the person to do that, they weren't in control of themselves. And they weren't effectively using their emotions. They got caught up in a physiological feeling. They never thought about anything except what they wanted. And you can't do that if you're being selfless. If you're trying to encourage another woman, you can't do that. If you're trying to lift up a woman, if you love your mom, if you love your sister, if you love the lady next door, if you love the kids at church that are girls, if you love any woman at all, then it's interchangeable. I think of Ayana as my sister, Kadre as my sister, Jada as my sister. I know my sister, I live with her every day. Would I do the same things that I do to Ayana to my sister? And a lot of the times we don't bring it home. So if I bring it home and I'm like, all right, I look at Ayana as my sister, I'm going to treat her like my sister. I mean, we're going to argue here and there, but I'm going to be outspoken and correct her when she's going the wrong way. I'm going to say, Kadre, girl, we live in a violent society. Why are you walking on the road with your dog alone? A dog can train you. So these are things that sometimes we just ignore. We let them subside. We get normalized to routines. We think, okay, nothing's gonna happen to me. It's that girl. I'm another girl. I'm not, and we say things like, oh, I'm not attractive. Oh, nobody will want to do that to me. Or it's not about that. It's more about power. And the more you're aware of why people do things and why a lot of women are in violent situations, it's easier because it's not about how attractive you are when somebody rapes you. It's not about if a woman hits another woman. It's not about the fact that she wants to show badness, but it's more about power and more about authority and more about what she can get from you and more about the fear that she can instill in you. So I just want to encourage you guys out there that if you see a violent act, speak up about it. If you are enduring a violent act, you need to get up and say, yo, this is the day. This is the day that I'm deciding to change my life. And if you fall, that's fine. It's a progress. You have to glow up and see who you can be. You have to be aware of your situations, and that's how you learn as a person. So
Yeah, I agree with everything that you ladies have said. I think the emotion that stood out for me over the weekend, I mean, I wasn't on social media the day because I get very emotional when I see these things, and I got frustrated. I got frustrated that it's still happening today. And I say this because there are certain songs that were made 10 years ago, 15 years ago, speaking out against these things. And it's like nothing has changed. You know, I can recall a particular song called Conscience by Baby Sham. And he says, what could have possessed a man for turn a AK-47 on a young woman and have the heart to for send her go a Neverland? I have a question. When they kill off the woman, them, what to do? What could have possessed a youth to lick down a baby mother and her little youth? Look how she beg him and a plead and him still a shoot and walk back on the corner a laugh like him think say it cute. No man, them brother you mad. Jamaica, when they read the news, it no make it sad. Man a shut up all church while I saw them bad. So hold on, you know, I try for time to say, gunman no rate God. And then he goes into government, what he gonna do? And please note, the government changes ever so often. The government isn't one party. The government is everybody who is in office. We are the government, I think, as well. I think we need to stop blaming. Unless one person in particular did the crime, that person is not the person to blame. The person who did the crime is the person we need to go against. Yes, we can call on the government to do certain acts, but it's bigger than the government. Just like how you need a specially trained teacher to teach a child with special needs, you're going to need a specially trained police officer to investigate and deal with the issues that are coming up. But then I look at it again and I said, are the educated going into the police force? Not to say that there are no educated in our police force, but we need certain skills and we need certain training to deal with this because, as you said, Vanessa, it is behavioral. And as a person who can sit and watch Law and Order SVU or Criminal Minds or NCIS, I am learning that the unsub, the person who committed the crime, thinks a certain way and they study behavioral patterns in order to find this particular suspect. And I think that is what we really need in our country. I don't think we're being equipped. And as times change, you have to change because criminals think differently. So now they're becoming way more creative on how to kidnap a girl and nobody can find her until her body shows up. So I think it's a topic that's bigger than the four of us here, but at least we're starting the conversation. And I hope Glow Getters out there will start the conversation because the more people having the conversation, somebody might just think of a particular solution. Somebody might think of an app. Somebody might think of a development. Somebody might think of a method that will help. And it's sad that as females, you know, we have to do things in order not to put ourselves in that vulnerable position. Like Kadre can't just think of walking without thinking of, oh my gosh, what do I need to do to keep myself safe? I remember when I used to take public transportation, I couldn't get in a taxi without sending the license plate to my mother. Because if I did and she found out, that would be another, you know, consequential thing that I don't want. I have to look at the license plate, send it to her, make sure she have it just in order to feel safe to get to point A to point B. And that's crazy. Or if I was walking on a lonely road, I would be on the phone with her through the entire walk. And I'm happy that I had a mother who was concerned and taught me these things when taking public transportation. And some young ladies don't. Some young ladies don't even have that parental guidance to kind of give them a heads up. Not that say that's the solution, you know. It's not that we need to educate our daughters, but we also need to educate our sons. I think parents are not playing the role in the society that parents need to play. Socialization of your child is very important. That is how behavioral patterns come. That's how behavioral patterns come about. What do you teach your child is socially, morally acceptable in a world? If you are a parent, and you might look at me and say, oh, that's crazy, but think about it. If you are a parent and you see a long line even at a KFC, and you decide to cut the line and your child is watching, what principle, what value, what moral are you teaching your child? Go ahead and get what you want, no matter who else suffers. And then that child can grow up with that mentality and then see a young lady him want, go ahead and get. It's what you teach your children. And I am particularly grateful for the parents and the uncles and the aunts and the village that I was raised around. But I acknowledge also that I don't live in a perfect world, and not everybody was raised with the love and the care and the concern that we need. And it's sad because even me as an adult, I can't look at any Jamaican child right now and say, don't do that, young man, because he tell me some words I've never heard before, because that is what he's around. So schools, teachers, I think teachers, every single person, it's your responsibility to help socialize our children and help socialize our country in the way we want to see. You might think, oh, I can just cut the line when you're driving one time. You're developing a habit, you're developing a pattern, and you're developing a behavior that you might think you have under control, as Vanessa says. But who's to know that one time you get over your feelings and you do something? Who's to know if you have an anger problem that one time you just take something and cut somebody and that person doesn't live? We need to be aware of our emotions. We need to be aware of our actions. And I think that as glow getters, as women, as men, I think enough is not being done. But I think the conversations that were taboo in 1990 should no longer be taboo in 2021. I think we need to have these awkward, difficult conversations. And then I implore, if you don't know how to have the conversation with somebody, seek professional help. There is nothing wrong with that. I am not a trained dentist. If I need my clean, if I need my teeth to clean, I'm gonna seek professional help. It's the same principle, it's the same way. If everything is not connecting, if I feel a certain way and I need to let it go, seek professional help to deal with the emotions. You know, when I was in high school, I volunteered as a peer counselor. And now that everything is happening, I'm feeling to get back into that. I'm feeling to get back into, I mean, this is a way I can do it with this platform, but I'm feeling to get back into being trained in order to help persons to, and not to say I have it all together, because far from it, but I think the more we share, Jamaicans have a thing where we bottle things in and we hold it in. I mean, my mom used to say that to me. She's like, don't go to bed so angry because you don't know what's gonna happen. But if I don't feel safe to share things, how am I gonna share? So I think you need to just be a nicer person. You need to just be a person who follows the rules, as simple as, even if you don't agree with the rules, I would prefer you use your platform to get into a space where you can argue the rule, but don't break it. Don't break it just because you don't understand it. And that is why I have a problem with government opposition, because I feel like sometimes opposition, your job is not to oppose. Your job is to help the other side, to help the country. I think we need to get over ourselves and realize that the issue that is happening, the violence against women, is a big one that not one person, not one party, not one government, not one post, not one tweet can fix. It is what we do on a daily basis. You might not see the connection, but trust me, everything that happens on your glow up journey, everything that happens in life is connected somehow. And I think, even as Vanessa says, violence against women, women can commit violence against women. If you see somebody else and you're so jealous and you start to spread rumors and her reputation goes out as being X, Y, Z, and Z, and you started that knowing all she ever did was be nice to you, and you think, oh, something must be up, she can't be nice. I don't think 2021, with us being in a pandemic, get over ourselves. I think we need to look in the mirror and check ourselves. And I'm saying this for me as well. Sometimes, you know, you might not treat people the best. I think we need to do some intro. We're on lockdown. Look into yourself. Look into yourself, glow getters and Jamaicans and persons are part of this earth, because nobody's perfect. And unless you live in a glass house, We can't just be throwing stones wildly. We need to take into consideration our actions, and we need to do something about it. And our conversation here today might not be the end, or it's surely not going to be the end to this, but it's a start, and we're going to use our platform. And also, if you disagree with anything any of us have said here today, again, don't come for us violently in the comments. Don't come for us and say, oh, we're stupid and this. We can only speak on how we go about. Be the change that you want to see. Anybody that calling on somebody else to do something, you be the change first, and then persons will follow. Let us normalize being a good person. Let that be trending. Let those things be the things that we aspire to be in life. I think I'm just frustrated over it, that it's still happening. As I sit here as a 28-year-old, when I was 13, this was still the conversation. And yes, we made some waves because social media kind of puts it out there. But as Kadre says, it doesn't stop with just putting up that orange hand. It stops with what you tell and how you interact with people on a daily basis. And we can talk about this for hours, ladies. And I hope that in your smaller circles, you do talk about it. At school, you talk about it. We need to spread it. We need to spread the message that violence against women is wrong. Violence in general is wrong. How you treat somebody, treat others how you want to be treated. As they say in the Bible, it's simple, but if you treat everybody how you want to be treated, the world will indeed be a better place. And I'm just frustrated, and I just hope that at least 5 persons, at least 10 persons, at least how many persons will see this conversation here today and really look into what they are doing to feed this disease. Because it's not just coronavirus that's the disease. There's the disease of wicked people out there. For somebody to steal from a lady who works so hard, I can never understand it. And yes, they're going to argue opportunities not out there for them, so they have to create it. But what happens when it happened to your mother? Like, people always say life unfair, but then you go about it, and I don't know. I'm frustrated. That is me. Well, frustrated. But at the same time, I am sad that it took the death of someone to create these conversations. I'm sad that it took someone on her GlowUP journey, going about working, saying, yes, I'm going to get my professional life together, only to be cut short, not by anything she deserved or anything she did, but because somebody else thought it was her time to go. I mean, none of us are God. None of us have that power. And I wish we would just stop thinking more of ourselves than we are. And we just humble ourselves, and we just go about on our GlowUP, working hard, doing the right thing, and just, I don't know, just glow up and see who you can be. But ladies, this was a very good conversation today. I'm very happy to have heard all your points, and hopefully, you said something that I didn't think about, or Vanessa said something that I should have thought about, but I just wasn't aware. And it's difficult. It's difficult on your GlowUP. We're telling you that it's difficult on your GlowUP. So anybody else have any closing remarks to say, because it's frustrating?
Yes, I want to add though, if you're out there and you're watching this video, make the connection, because a lot of times we hear stuff, but we don't connect them in our brains. And we struggle as a nation with 2 things: coronavirus, and violence against women. So guys, one thing is new to us generationally, and one thing has always been there, but yet still we're not doing anything effective about any of the 2. Out of this, you should become more aware and more accountable. So as Ayana was talking about the government puts measures into place. Opposition keeps them accountable, or should keep them accountable. We as people should keep them accountable. We as a friend should keep our friends accountable of their behaviors. And so you need to be aware and you need to spread awareness, but you also need to have some level of accountability. And Ayana said you need to treat others the way you want to be treated. And truthfully, Ayana, a lot of people out there don't want to be treated good. I don't know why, but understand that there is something wrong with that principle. There is something wrong. And all I can do right now in this chair is to hope that you will have a shift in your perspective, because that is not okay. Because violence spews from hatred, and hatred and love cannot coexist. No matter what we think, the two of them cannot coexist in the same individual at the same time. Something must outweigh the next. And I hope that you choose to love yourself today, you choose to love others, and you choose to show love and spread it all across the world so that you can be the change you want.
That's facts, Vanessa. That's facts. And I mean, and at the end of these conversations, a very heavy conversation for a lot of people, hug yourself, show yourself some love, because, and as Vanessa said, some people don't think that they deserve love simply because they don't know life any other way. But God loves you. Jesus died on the cross for your sins, for you. And if that's not love, there's a song that says, if that isn't love, then heaven's a myth. I mean, what's the heaven and a myth? Because down here, so cannot be the end all and be all. There has to be something better than this. So love upon yourself. In our last video, we went out and we had a little yogurt and so show yourself some love, people. Show yourself some love. And the love that you show to yourself, show it to others. And that will definitely help the world to be a better place. Even if it's just in your home. Start somewhere. Show yourself some love.
All I have to say is, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? So we all need to learn to love ourselves so that we can love each other, so that we can help our country, our nation, or world to be a better place, because that's what we need. A better place. Peace and harmony and love and unity.
All right, so at this time in our program, we are going to do a moment of silence, a minute of silence for all those who have died because of violence against women and all those who have died because of the coronavirus. These are two diseases plaguing our world, and we here at the GlowUP stand with all the loved ones who are mourning, and we comfort you through this virtual platform to just know we're thinking of you, we're praying for you, and we are here for you. This was another episode of Glow Chat. The conversation is just beginning. Don't end it here. Please carry the love, spread the harmony, spread the peace in your workplace, schools, everywhere you go. Just be a light in this dark, dark world. We here at the Globe stand with you. If for any reason you feel like you just need somebody to talk to, email us. Or email is in the description. Email us and just talk. If you need to get some things off your chest, maybe you saw something and you don't know how to go about it, email us here and we'll get the conversation going with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please share this with everyone you know. This is an important conversation that the world needs to be having. And we would like everybody to hear our views and start their own conversations as well. Glow up and see who you can be. Until next time, Glow Getters, stay safe out there in this dangerous world. Bye.